What's up? What's up? Another day leveled up. It's your boy Salem. Got some great knowledge to drop on you guys tonight. Today, wherever it is you're watching this. But I think this is a great time for me to touch on this. Lately, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I find inspiration from other influencers and people alike as well. But I want to place importance on self-reliance, because no matter who you're getting your information from, it is another man at the end of the day. A man just like you and me, who is not perfect. He's just an extension of the Most High at the end of the day. So everything you listen to, everything you watch, take with a grain of salt and do your own research. But I'm gonna get into a few quotes from this book called Self-Reliance by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Get that in there. This book has so many good just quotes and insights to live by. Like it literally has chapters on heroism, friends, spiritual laws, history, prudence, character, gifts, just so many things that most people don't think about in that way. So I recommend definitely reading this book. I'd say it's more so like Stoic philosophy, if you're a Stoic, or if you're trying to get into it. But yeah, I'm gonna get into the first quote I wrote down. This quote says, "A man should learn to detect and watch the gleam of light which flashes across his mind from within more than the luster of a firmament of bards and sages. Yet he dismisses without notice his thought because it is his." It's a powerful line. So most men, people in general, they discredit their own thoughts as if like they're insignificant because it came from their own mind. They value this influencer, they value this musician, they value this artist's opinion of the artist's self over their own opinion of their own self. They will look to their influencer, artist, whoever it is, to tell them how they should look at themselves, rather than taking that time to cultivate that confidence to feel like what you've been given is what you need to hear and listen to. But I'd say that takes some time to really trust yourself and pretty much go about acting on those thoughts. So not everybody's ready for that. So some people do need guidance and religion and things like that. Great works of art are displays of internal genius, which we can all tap into. Those great songs, the great art, Picasso, Van Gogh masterpieces were all insights that just gleamed across each of those individuals' minds. They weren't looking to any outside source to credit if what they thought was correct and if they should act on it. They just did, and by doing that, they were able to display to themselves that they should listen to themselves at the end of the day. And for us to even get to that place, we must accept where the divine has placed us and what he's given us at the time. All great men, great people have done so. They found themselves in a childlike genius of their age and made the best of it. They looked at their surroundings and pretty much just took note of it, like looked at it in awe, like a child, even if it was not the best conditions. Like rappers, artists, rappers come to mind they come to mind right away when I think about that, because think about like Nas and the old rap and things like that. They were describing poverty and things like that, but they were looking at it with a different lens than everybody in it. And because they were to look at it that way, they were able to transcend themselves out of that situation and just be almost like a spokesman of it rather than being in it. They would watch and observe, but then go into solitude and write about what they thought about it. And they felt what they thought about it was true, and it had some validity to it. So they began to rap and do whatever and display and show the world this is what they thought. And people came around and they were appreciative of that someone was such an individual to speak about whatever was going on in their land, and they were going to hear them out, because who else was doing that? So yeah, another quote I'm going to get into says, "If you be a man, speak today what you think in words as hard as cannonballs, and tomorrow speak what tomorrow thinks in hard words again, though it may contradict everything you said today." I find myself going back on things I've said to people, what I've said to myself, because I'm always learning things every day, and I don't feel like I know everything. We're just all learning, and we're all gonna make mistakes. So, like I said, back to like the people that you draw inspiration from and get guidance from, realize they're not perfect either, and don't hold them to that standard, because when you do slip up, you're gonna place blame on them rather than yourself. Because at the end of the day, you do have the choice to decide if you're gonna act on things like that. So quote number 3, "Society everywhere is in conspiracy against the man herd of every one of its members. Society is a stock company in which members agree for the better securing of his bread to each shareholder to surrender the liberty and culture of the eater. Self-reliance is its aversion." So society does not promote self-reliance. Society wants you to look to it with politics, religion, things like that for direction. They don't want you to sit at home and find your own direction, because they have a plan for you. They have your best interest in mind. So if you're not cultivating yourself and making sure your mind is guarded going out into this world, you're gonna be swept up into somebody else's plan. So it's real important to be self-reliant. Number 4, "Whoso be a man must be a nonconformist. We should not be hindered by the name of goodness, but must explore if it be goodness." So while we go about our everyday lives, something good may come across our mind or our screen, our phones, our Instagram, that we feel compelled to follow. And maybe all glitz and glam from everything on the gram, but do your research. Kanye West comes to mind lately. Like it's real kind of weird to me. Like I'm a big Kanye West fan, but it seems almost too good to be true. Like I'm definitely exploring more into it. Like I know some churches and mega churches, like they do not have people's best interests in mind, and I see him mingling with some people that I've read into and don't always stand behind their word, or are individuals I would try to emulate. So I'm on guard to the whole Jesus is King movement. Even though it's good music, I feel like there's an agenda to that all. So I could be wrong, but myself am on guard, and I hope people are on guard as well, and not just following Kanye wherever he tends to go, because he's a man himself as well. He's not perfect. And this is a small quote, kind of goes into that, like, your goodness must have some edge to it, or else it is none. So, like, yeah, with that whole campaign, Jesus is King, it's kind of too good to be true. There's not real too much edge to it. It's just night and day. It's like, bro, what happened to the old Kanye? I mean, the old Kanye was still speaking truth. Like, in his first 3 albums, those were my favorite. He was still speaking truth. He was still finding himself, but he was not, how would I say, I don't feel like he was under any influence. He was under his own influence. He was his own man. Like, everything Kanye did at that time was like Kanye. It wasn't a whole church behind it. It was just Kanye. And people liked him for that. But now it's kind of weird. But anyway, quote number 6. Isolation must precede society. Isolation must not be mechanical, but spiritual. It must be elevation. At times, the whole world seems to be in conspiracy to opportune you with phatic trifles. Friend, client, child, sickness, fear, want, charity, all knock at once at the closet door and say, come on to us. Keep the state, come not into their confusion. No man can come near me but through my act. So, yeah, the world, especially when you're retaining, when you're just trying to cultivate yourself, it feels like the whole world's trying to get at you. And there's many ways you can think about that spiritually or whatever, but it's so important to only allow things into your world and into your mind by your own allowance. It's almost like a vampire. Like, a vampire can't come into your house unless you invite it. So do not allow these people and ideas and media and news to come into your mind and take hold of your well-being. Like, keep on guard out here. Quote number 7. Truly it demands something godlike in him who has cast off common motives of humanity and ventured to trust himself for taskmaster. I believe it does take some type of godlike spirit to just keep a blind eye to just the world and know that what you find in solitude is the truth, and what you've been called to do, if you see like synchronicities and things like that, it's for you to see and not for everybody else, and for you to convince everybody else. We're all having our own individual experience in this life. All of us are having our own experience, so that's important. Point yourself on your own terms. Like, if you believe we're made in God's image, like, why not believe that we could be godlike in our own world and our own experience, and take hold of what we need to do and master our own world and ourselves. So, yes. Quote number 8. The secret of fortune is joy in our hands. Welcome evermore to gods and men as the self-helping men. For him all doors flung wide. Him all tongues greet, all honors crown. All eyes follow with desire. Our love goes out to him and embraces him because he does not need it. That's super powerful. You could even look at that quote as like a law of attraction type thing if you want. But yeah, when you are not worried about pleasing others, and you're walking with an unneediness, things will work out for you. That's just how it is. That's how the world works. They see that you don't need anything, that they want what you have. So yeah, keep yourself joyful. Fill yourself up with things that you love to do. Yeah, I mean, only you could really be the cause of your happiness, no one else at the end of the day. Number 9, the soul is no traveler. The wise man stays home, and when his necessities, his duties, or any occasion call him from his house or into foreign lands, he is at home still. He visited cities and men like sovereign, and not like a traveler, interloper, or valet. Keep within you the essence and the solitude that you gain when you're at home, that when you go into the world, nothing is able to knock you off your center. Like, it's important to know who you are, especially in this day and age. Like, I feel like such unrest and uneasiness whenever I just go to the grocery store or something. I just feel like people are just seeking some type of solid ground to stand on or something, and a lot of people aren't looking within these days. It's like the new age movement has taught people to just be chasing all these different things, and even though there's some truth to it all, it doesn't allow anybody to get a firm hold or solid ground on anything. So just do your best to make sure you're solid before you go out into this world, or you'll just be swept up in this whole madness. It's crazy. So I'm gonna end this with the last 2 quotes. I thank you guys for bearing with me. Hope you guys have been enjoying these quotes as much as I have. Okay. Nothing can bring you peace but yourself. Nothing can bring you peace but the triumph of principles. So keep your principles. No external thing, person, place could bring you as much happiness as you sticking to your own principles. And the last of them all, it is harder because you always find those who think they know what is your duty better than you know it. It is easy in the world to live after the world's opinion. It is easy in solitude to live after our own. But the great man is he who in the midst of the crowd keeps his perfect sweetness, the independence of solitude. Yeah, I don't think I have to say much more than that. I just want to thank you guys for rocking with me. Any new subscribers, I thank you. I'm just trying to build myself up and bring others along on this journey, help everybody level up. Like this video if any of this resonated with you. Comment any other topics you'd like me to touch on. Comment anything that stood out in this video that you liked. And let's just build a community of people and other people just trying to level up. That's all I'm trying to do for myself and everybody around me. Thank you for rocking with me. Have a great one.